Hi, I'm Robin Rothstein, host of Taking Five With. What's Taking Five With? Stick around and find out. Taking Five With is an interview series where I interview somebody in the arts or an art supporter for 5 minutes to find out how they've been doing, what they're working on, and what's coming up down the road. Today's exciting guest is...
Hi!
Hey, it's Kevin Duda!
Hooray! And we're wearing complimentary colors.
Hey, we are. We didn't even, coordinate that part. So thanks so much for being here. It's great to see you.
Absolutely, you too.
Yay! So without further ado, I want to get moving on this because this is called Taking Five With, and I only want to take 5 minutes of your life out today, and the 5 minutes of everybody else's lives who will hopefully be watching this. So I have a few questions I'm going to be asking you. I also have a fancy iPhone 10s. I wish I had an 11 or a 12 timer.
Amazing.
I know, I'm all very high tech. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap up and it'll be very exciting. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm so ready.
We are starting.
Okay.
All right. So Kevin, I've known you for a while now, but people who are watching this may not know the amazing Kevin Duda. So give us a little background.
Oh no! Now I have to fill that adjective. Well, I'm a former actor. I still do a little acting, but I've mostly moved on to producing. But my main career in New York City for the past 20 years has been acting. And I grew up in Western Massachusetts. I went to school in Hartford, Connecticut. I made my way almost immediately to New York City. And I always like to say I kind of worked I truly worked up my ladder. I did theme park and dinner theater and cruise ship and regional theater, and I just made my way up. And finally, after much hard work, they say that it pays off, and it did. I did the original cast of Book of Mormon and original cast of Beautiful on Broadway, and a few other things here and there.
Do you have any special highlights from any of those Broadway shows that come to mind?
Well, I mean, Book of Mormon was was an incredible journey from the workshops, from the readings, all the way.
So you were in the very, very, very beginning, the beginning of time for Book of Mormon, right?
Yeah, I count myself
Genesis.
really lucky. I did all of them. I did all 3 readings, and we had 2 workshops along the way, and then landed. There was a lot of people like that. I think there was like 12 or 14 people who followed it all the way up, and it was really exciting. So of course, Book of Mormon opening night was a huge one, and then original cast albums, and then just there's touring in different cities that I hadn't been to. There's some really good highlights. I count myself lucky.
Yeah, and you've met some famous people too. Didn't Hillary Clinton come to some performance?
Oh yeah, Hillary came to Beautiful. Yep. Much to my partner's disappointment that he was not there. He's the biggest Hillary fan. But and I got to work with Eartha Kitt. I got to work with Deb Gibson, who was really fun. Jamie Lynn Sigler on my first tours, and then Maureen McGovern on Little Women, and
then Carole King showed up, right?
Carole King, yeah, Carole King, and I got to play Neil Sedaka and talk to him a little bit offline about what that was like, and he sent me a really nice gift. Anyways, it's been fun, and not to mention, like, the backstage at Book of Mormon was like Access Hollywood on a nightly basis. It was like TMZ who was walking through the door. So it was great. Wow. It was really amazing. Yeah.
So what have you been doing? This past year, it's been a little crazy, right? So how have you kept the creative momentum going after years on Broadway and other projects?
I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you alluding to?
Oh, yeah, just had some bad weather,
Ever since I moved on to producing, most of my time is spent developing. So so that's actually a good, like, I would call it like a soft part of my job, is like being at the computer and talking to writers and talking to directors and choreographers and stuff like that. The big highlight of this year for me was A Killer Party, which was a digital musical that Jason Howland and I produced. It really came out of the blue. It came out of Jason Howland's head saying, we need to do something. And from then, it pretty much took us from March until still today. We're still working on it. There's still iterations coming out. And so that's really, I mean, I like to find something I really like and give my all to it. And that's definitely what Killer Party was.
So that's great. You're great spirits. And what do you see kind of down the road? I mean, I know that the news is changing every day, but
Yeah.
I mean, do you have any sort of general feeling about what's next for the industry, the arts industry, the live performance industry?
Well, I'm gonna presidential debate you and take one step back to your previous question and say that although I am in good spirits right now, I do have lows. You know, I think everyone does, and I think it's important to. I used to try to get away from those, and really what I do is try to, like, just from a mental, artistic standpoint, just sit in that for a second, let it pass. If it does pass, hopefully it has so far. So there have been lows. It hasn't been all. I don't want it to sound like it's been an all high this whole time. I mean, of course, this whole time has been a blessing for the time off, but for the reasons that it is not a blessing, obviously.
Well, we're down to 40 seconds. That's crazy, right? So Killer Party has got licensed by MTI, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So I'll put up a link about that. And here's my last question. And since this is Taking 5 With, I want you to come up with 5 words, a sentence, a phrase, nonsense words that are just like a good, positive feeling, kind of optimistic 5 words. And you got 13, 12, 11, 10 seconds left.
Creative, bonkers, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, amazing, gorgeous.
That's good. Ding, 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 you made it. Thank you, Kevin Duda. Woohoo! It's Taking 5 With Kevin. Thanks so much. Now get back to work. Get back to work. Woohoo!
Thanks so much for watching Taking 5 With. I hope you enjoyed it, and that you'll join me the next time when my special guest will be...